Hey y'all, what's up? The way that this reading is going to work is that we will see who the first zodiac sign is that comes out. That's who the reading will be for. If no zodiac sign comes out, then this will be a collective reading. We're starting off with Three of Cups. And we also have Nine of Wands. You could be going through a difficult time socially, or there could be something that's going on with like a friend or something like that right now. This could even be about patching things up. Okay, the first card, the first zodiac that we have out is Aquarius. So this reading will be for Aquarius. We have the star, and then immediately following the star, we also have Scorpio. I might label this as an Aquarius and Scorpio reading, possibly. I see you looking at the dimensions of something here. The way that the combination of star and death is coming through is that there may be some stuff that needs to be stopped, and it can be more of a once and for all type of energy when we have death card there of like, I need to quit this, or I need to get over this, or I need to close this out, or I need to stop doing this, in a way that feels very final with the death, because maybe you're looking at something and feeling like, if I continue this, I'm not going to be able to, like, my growth stops here until this is something that I address, you know, like things can't really evolve or move forward until this is something that I really look at and I address. And it can be something that you feel like, maybe it's a big sacrifice that's being asked of you. It can feel like that initially. It can be something that we don't always want to do when we have death there, but it can feel in a way like it's necessary. Like, this will stop me from going where I feel like I must go unless I address this. That can be the feeling with it. And having Three of Cups be the first card out, I wonder if this is something more socially that's going on for you. Like, multiple relationships can be involved in this. Let's also let's clarify. Yeah. Say relationships, definitely. But this can be things that has been in your life for a long time. I know that I say this often, but the deal with the death card is that, and the deal with Scorpio, is that it doesn't ever ask you to like abandon things or to end things or let go of things that are aligned. It doesn't just like randomly pick and be like, here, hand it over, give me that. It's more so the stuff that you're like actually energetically finished with those things. Like on a spiritual level, you don't need that anymore. And that's why. So it's never random with this energy. It's not like it just doesn't want you to have stability or something like that. It's more so like, what is impeding upon your growth and your progress here? And with the star, maybe you have a clearer idea of what's ready to fall away now at this point, because it's not even like a becoming with the star. It's more so a shedding and a taking off of what you know to not be true for you anymore. You know, it can be like, this is who I thought that I was, and now that I'm realizing that may not be so true to me, or may not like really ring true to me or resonate with me on that deeper level, I'm ready to shed that now. I'm ready to shed that layer. So it's always going to be a shedding of layers when we have the star and we have death next to one another. And yeah, some of you guys, it can be like relationships, and even if it's not a particular relationship, it can be about the way that you show up within your dynamics. And that can also alter your relationships too because of that, you know, like you may be showing up in a different way. You may be playing a different role or different roles, and that can also be something that changes things. You know, maybe it's something where you feel like, I'm connected with this group of people, or I'm connecting with this relationship, and I feel like it's reinforcing me to stay in some spot that I feel like I've outgrown, or that I feel like isn't really authentic for me anymore, you know, or I don't see myself as like wanting to play that out anymore. Maybe I'm not interested in doing that anymore. And so it can come time where we have to find a way to kind of get out from underneath the thumb of whatever this is that's confining you at this point. So whether this is like my mindset needs to shift here, how I'm showing up needs to shift here, the entirety of this relationship needs to shift here. It's just going to be something where it will be like, I don't want to go back into that energy. And I don't want to support something that is going to very actively push me in this space that I don't want to be in anymore. Like hold me into a space, or try to like mold me into something that doesn't really feel genuine for me. Yeah. I feel overall like this is multiple relationships that you have that you may not really like the vibe of it anymore. But again, like coming back to this idea here, that doesn't mean that you need to be like, that's it, like I'm closing out these relationships. Some of you guys, that can be the case for some of your situations, but for others of you guys, can be that there's going to be an internal change where you have to keep reminding yourself not to maybe fall back into some pattern here. So it doesn't mean that you have to close out the dynamic if you don't want to, but it can be more so like, if you don't like the way it feels as far as like how you're showing up, or maybe like how somebody wants you to be showing up, it can be a time that you look at that and you're like, I'm not going to do this anymore. Because it can be dynamics that you walk away from and you're like, I don't like how I feel when I'm walking away from this situation. You know, it's like you hang out with somebody and it's like later that night after you are not hanging out with them anymore, and you can just feel the energy and be like, I don't like the way that that's left me feeling. It can be something like that. So it can be this feeling of like, I'm ready for a shift. And I think that it's gonna happen inside of you first. Because this isn't looking outside of you, and then I think it's more difficult to look outside of yourself and start changing things and tweaking things when you haven't gone through the metamorphosis internally. It's like a little bit backwards to do things in that way. Not that it can't be done, but instead of it being like on the outside making its way internally, it can be more so like, where do I need to be making these shifts or these transformations within myself? And then that is going to ripple out from there, and then that will clue me in on maybe like how far I need to go with certain things, like what exactly it is that needs to change. Maybe some relationships you don't want to connect with that person anymore, you don't want to be in that dynamic anymore. Maybe others you look at and you're like, I think that there's room for me to be able to show up in the way that I want to, and to be able to have a conversation with this person maybe and say, hey, I don't want you to reinforce this for me anymore. This isn't something that I want to be doing, or like, hey, don't have that expectation of me. So this can be like a case by case basis, but the easiest way for you to know what you need to do here is to be connected internally with the shift that's going on, and then that will be your compass for how to apply this shift in any given situation. And I think that's going to help you feel more connected too, because maybe with Three of Cups and Four of Cups, you've been feeling some social disconnect within some of your relationships. Maybe something's been going on and you feel like misunderstood, or you feel like you're being projected upon a lot, or like you're not being seen. There can be like these types of themes where making this type of shift is maybe something that will help you connect. And you know, you can also be connecting with new dynamics and new relationships too, but maybe there's a part of you that feels like having Four of Cups be running away from the Star. There can be this part of you that feels like sometimes it's easier just to remain in what you know, even if you don't really feel like you're thriving within it. Because with the Star, this is the compass that we can thrive when we are connected with the tune of that. But with Four of Cups, it can be something where in order to do that, maybe you have to be like outstanding in some type of way, you know? Maybe you feel like it's going to make you very visible as well. Maybe you feel kind of uncomfortable with that. That can be something too, you know? I think another aspect of the energy with the Star is being willing to show up in a way that feels authentic to you, to be truthful, to be honest, to be forthcoming and transparent, regardless of the type of feedback that you get. So that can be something too where you're like, you know, if I were to just be totally honest here, I would be very visible within this situation, within the dynamic, and then I'd have a lot of attention on me, and judgment can come with that, you know? And that can be something that feels difficult to do within certain dynamics. It may be something that maybe there's a part of you that's like working up to this. I don't know if you feel totally ready for it, but that can be something that maybe you're struggling with a little bit here. But then also, it's like, but then you feel the disconnect. So it's kind of coming back to that again, where it's like, this isn't really resolving anything. And you can maybe want this period to end where you're feeling this lack of connection. But it's only going to happen if you're willing to be visible, if you're willing to be seen in a genuine light. And have that be more important to you than trying to control how people are going to respond to that. In making this shift, it also means that you're going to be able to connect with things that feel much more in tune. So rather than something feeling generic, it will feel, especially like relationship-wise, because it seems like this is really what's being focused upon, rather than it feeling like you just have these generic connections, this is something where if you're willing to be visible and you're willing to be seen, and when I say visible, I mean this can just be with like one other person, you know? When you're allowing for that, it's going to curate your relationships in a way that will be more connected and more fit specifically for you. So yeah, where in your dynamics do you feel like you're kind of faking it? You know, or there are things that you would like to say, or like maybe somebody that you'd like to have, I don't know, maybe confront or something like that, where you're not doing that. Some of you even too, this could maybe be a conversation that you want to have with like a parent or a child or something like that, or like a sibling. That can be something that comes up. It can be any type of relationship, but I feel in a way like, I guess it can be any type of relationship really. And I think that it's going to make it easier if you just will claim and get behind this energy rather than maybe denying it. I think it could also maybe help you feel supported. Maybe with that Three of Cups and Four of Cups, you're not feeling supported, but maybe you're not really showing yourself and allowing for that to be happening. either. So you're not really allowing anybody to show up for you. And that can be something too. Because with 9 of Wands and 10 of Wands, maybe you're going through something really difficult right now, or like a challenging time. It can be. And it can be a time when certain things within your life, they're changing, and it might be really nice for you to have support right now. Like maybe more than usual. Yeah, some of you guys, I see some like really big shift happening within your life right now, connected with death and oh, I'm getting a lot of different stuff coming through here. Some of you guys, you could be going through something where there's even like multiple people affected by what you're going through. Like maybe this is something even more collectively that's being experienced right now. I feel too, and this was an energy that came through earlier, is that you guys may all need to band together, especially if you're going through something more collectively, like with a group of people within your life. Maybe really important that you guys all get on the same page with one another, because you may not, even if this is just like you and one other person, if you're going through something collectively stressful between y'all or all of whoever's involved in this, it can be something that it feels difficult to do alone. And so everybody kind of banding together can help get through this time. Slash, it could be just you going through something difficult and you may need to lean on support, but there may be some stuff that has to change that you have to kind of lead out in order for that to happen. But yeah, maybe something is like creating a lot of tension within a relationship or certain relationships that you have. And in certain ways, there can be an awareness of what has to be done. But I'm wondering with the Four of Cups looking at death, if there's been an avoidance of this, of what you may feel is inevitable, but what maybe you're still finding a way to avoid. Because I see the Death card like staring you down, and the Four of Cups is just like running away from it. It's like every time the spotlight gets put on you, like diving out of the light, so this isn't maybe impacting you, something like that. But I feel almost like maybe whatever this situation is, you could be giving it like a lot of power because of running away from it, so it feels kind of like it's haunting you a little bit here. That can be something as well. Feel like there's something about acceptance that's needed, and if you're willing to turn around and face this, that's when you're gonna feel like you are empowered rather than running away from something here that you can feel. It's like the feeling that comes from when you're trying to get away from something, when you're trying to avoid something, where it like gives it that power to kind of be haunting you and harassing you, and like you're having nightmares about it, you know. But as soon as you confront this and as soon as you face it, it's like that big scary monster kind of falls down to size. Some of you guys, this can even remind you of like your own mortality or something like that with the death, even if it's in some very like symbolic way of something that's going on right now. Is this just like a huge avoidance of change? Is that maybe part of it too? I think these are just all questions to ask, really. And Star and Death, both of these cards are connected with fixed energy, and so we can really avoid change. But I think at this point it can be something where maybe you want to not feel like you're running away from something anymore. But maybe you also feel like, yeah, maybe some of you guys, you feel like a lack of community, and that's why it can feel hard to deal with this right now. You know, or something like, I don't want to bring that up. Yeah, some of you guys, I'm getting that. Maybe something that you don't want to bring up. I see something new that's on the verge of happening. That's part of what's being shied away from. Maybe some of you guys feel a little bit hopeless too. The star is going in with 5 of Pentacles. So yeah, it can be themes of like, I don't feel like I'm supported. I feel like I'm alone. I feel scared. I'm not sure if this is going to be able to work. I have a lot of doubt in my mind. It's like these types of things. I don't know if I'm going to like have what I need, or what if something is like needed from me and I'm not able to do it, like this type of thing. You know, like, and it can also be excuses as to like why you're not moving forward. Forward meaning, with this star, I see this as being like a guiding light. There can be somewhere, like something that you're following here, like being on the path of the star. And with this energy, it can be like reasons why you're not doing that. But it can be something that you feel like you know that your soul is calling you to do that, and it can be something that you've been not doing. Can also be getting harder and harder to stand there and not make a choice too, for those of you that a choice is connected with this, or there's a need to like plan and figure things out now at this point. All right, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting and tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.